Hey, it's Neil from Walters Appliance, and today we got an LG washer with an FE error code, which is an overfill error. There's a part number for this washer 5220FR2008F. When I went to check this one out, the cold water valve would not stop unless you turn the water off. Even if you unplugged it, it still would run. So that's a classic case of FE error code with a bad cold water valve. So we're gonna change that one and put a brand new one in for the customer today. So you got to get the top off. There's two screws at the back. Take the two Phillips that are out lower, and you can just push, kind of hit that top there, and it'll come off. The water is shut off to the hot and the cold, and it is unplugged. So it's a good idea to just take a quick picture of the cold water valve. At least that way you can revisit it later if you have any issues with putting it back together. So I'm just starting to take the wiring harnesses off. And now I'm taking the cold water line off. Just got like something handy, a tray to catch a little bit of the water that comes out. Okay, and there's two Phillips screws that hold this in. So you should get a good picture. Okay, there's two Phillips screws that hold the cold water valve in. So normally what happens is the cold water gets the water straight from the city, and the hot water, all that sediment and stuff goes into your hot water tank. So it's usually the cold water valve that is bad, but I'm sure there's times when the hot water valve is bad too. But in this case, it was the cold water valve. Okay, so we've got those two Phillips screws out. And I'm going to put the new one in there just so that I can kind of just plug and play the wiring harness. All right, so there's the new cold water valve. Okay, so we'll just move that out of the way, and we got the cold water valve in now. Now I'm just going to screw it down with those two Phillips screws. Okay, so we're just tightening that up now. Okay, there's the second screw. Okay, we've got that tightened, so we'll put all the wiring harnesses on. And then the cold water valve on this one has four hoses and four nipples. So just take each hose and put it on like the same one for the new cold water valve and just do them one by one. I've got my handy needle nose pliers that are perfect for this. Okay, so there's one, and I'm just getting that off there. And then I'll put it on the exact same one on the new one. And there's those needle nose pliers, very handy. Okay, and we're simply just gonna go one by one and put all these new ones on. Okay, and there's the second one. Okay, and we're on to the third one now. Yeah, just take your time. You'll get it. Okay, so we've got that one on, and we've got those handy pliers again. Okay, and that's the very last one. So 4 nipples and 4 hoses. Okay, so we've got the last hose on. Just got to put the clamp on. Okay, so now we just got to hook the cold water back up. All right, so just basically tighten that up. And once it's good and tight, turn the water on, check for leaks. And what you're going to want to do afterwards is run the machine. All right, so just tightening that up with the channel locks. Okay, just making sure that's good and tight. And then after that, I turned the water on and tested the machine, and it worked out well. Another repair by Neil from Walters Appliance.